Hey Star Wars fans, the Brodalorian Elvis here with another lightsaber video, and today we are taking a closer look at the Tuhqa Saber from Sabertheory. This is a lightsaber that was designed in collaboration with Dylan with Tuhqa. So if you happen to be one of Tuhqa's, almost 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, and you're wondering if you should get a Tuhqa Saber, you found the right video. But I'm pretty happy with this, but I wanted to tell a quick little story as to, why I got this, how I got it, and what I like, dislike about it, and my experience with Sabertheory. So a few of my friends have gotten the new Xeno V3, lots of hype on the Xeno V3 out there, which is a type of soundboard in a lightsaber. So if you're newer to lightsabers, I'll kind of spell out a little bit of this. But Xeno V3 is a new type of board that has some connectivity with an app on like your iPhone, where you can change fonts and colors and sounds and things like that on the app, which is pretty cool. So I wanted to try one of those out. And Dylan happened to announce that Sabertheory was making a lightsaber for him called the Tuhqa Saber, and it was right around the same time that they started shipping Xeno V3s, and I thought, okay, cool, I'll get a Tuhqa Saber then in a V3. And so I got it and unboxed it on Instagram Live like I sometimes do. And if you're not a subscriber or a follower of mine on Instagram, go check out the Brodalorian on Instagram. I usually do live unboxings when I get new sabers in. I also post, small reels, short videos and stuff like that on Instagram, and some cosplay stuff lately too. But so anyway, I got the saber and I unboxed it live on Instagram, and Sabertheory happened to watch it and say, ooh, I don't think the weathering on that looks correct. Send a picture of this message to us to our support email address. So I did, and long story short, they sent me a whole nother saber. So this is the saber that I got back from them. This is the weathered variant that I originally ordered, and this is the original one that I got from them, which I've repainted the grip black. You can see the black doesn't quite match up because that's the paint color that I use, but so now I have a weathered variant and a non-weathered variant, which is kind of cool. But anyway, the fact that Sabertheory saw a quality control issue on a live unboxing and proactively reached out to me to take care of it, I just think is really cool. So my experience with Sabertheory so far is, 2 thumbs up. It's been really good. So price was good, shipping was fast, and yeah, so very, very happy with the purchase. But yeah, so let's take a closer look at the Tuhqa Saber and see if I can get my camera to play along here. Sometimes it doesn't work so great. There we go. So I just kind of want to go through this real quick, the things that I like, dislike, and I'll bring us through the fonts. There are 34 fonts on this, so let me talk through everything, and then you can skip the rest of the video if you don't care about fonts. But yeah, so looking at the grip, it's very, very weathered, nicely weathered on this one that I received the second time around. There's a little bit of weathering up here. I have to admit, I do think it'd be cool if there was some weathering on the pommel or the emitter, but for a weathered saber from, a reseller like Sabertheory, or a saber that they've created themselves, I think it's really cool. I really, really like it. I have zero complaints. I do plan to, in a future video, I'm going to pour aluminum black all over this, and then I'm going to scuff it all up and really try to make it super weathered. So I have like a really nice clean one next to a super weathered one. But anyway, the way that it comes like this, I think is really nice. No complaints from me. The speaker on it is loud. I wouldn't say it's not the nicest speaker in my collection, but it's far from the worst too. And the button works real nice, and it has 3 machined holes that you can put a grub screw in for tightening down the blade for blade retention, which honestly I think is a little strange actually, because why not just do all 4 so it's symmetrical? But I guess because that's where the switch is, I don't know, it makes sense. But anyway, I'm just using one blade retention, but it happens to have 3 blade retention holes on there. Other things kind of neat about this is the chassis. Check this out. So, isn't that pretty? It's got a gold chassis in there. Probably look a little cooler if I put one of those battery wraps on there, so it looks a little different. But yeah, and there's our Xeno V3 board. One huge complaint about this board is this SD card hold reader. Gosh, it reminds me of my cell phone back in the day when you had to push down and back and then lift up to get the card out, like the computers and cell phones way back when. But anyway, I like that, it's got a gold chest. It's kind of cool. So everything about this is really nice. The one drawback, the one thing that I don't care for is that it's one button and non-illuminated. If anything, I'd say that it's cool that it's not illuminated, because if you've been in the Saber community, at all, you've probably seen countless lightsabers with a red circle right here, and it will blink as you hold the button down. So for example, to change fonts is 4 blinks, or a count of 4 half seconds, or 2 full seconds. I know that sounds like a mouthful, but sure enough, the instructions say count of 4, 1 count equals half second. So on 1000 to 1000, that's how you change the sound font. Now, if you had the blinks, you would just hold it until you see blink, 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 and let go, and you don't have to worry about counting. Not such a big deal when it comes to changing fonts, because realistically, you just hold it until it changes fonts.
The Chosen.
Pretty easy. But if you wanted to change the blade effect, or if you want to go into the color changing option when the blade is on, you have to hold this for, I believe it's a count of 2, maybe it's a count of 3, which is either 1 second or 1.5 seconds. It starts to get a little more difficult at that point. Can you time it and have, get that timing figured out? Sure, no problem. But if anything, that's the one drawback, is not having the illuminated button. Unless you're sick of seeing illuminated buttons, then this looks great. So pro and con there. But the greatest thing about it is that it can work with the app, the Xeno app. So if you go on the Xeno app, you can control everything without the use of buttons. In fact, you can even turn the saber on and off with motion gesture control, or with the app too. So I find myself actually not really using the button at all, because I can just stab on or twist off. So I don't really use the button too much, and then I use the app for everything else. So let me go ahead and throw a blade in. Okay, so we got a blade in, and we got our app connected. And I'm going to try to run through this as fast as I can, but there is just a ton of stuff that I could go through that it will take me like hours to show it all. But so a couple of the quick things. So in here you can see we have our battery life, which is cool, a button for turning the saber on and off. You also have buttons for flash on flash, blasters, and lock-up effects. And then you can change the color of the blade. You can go in here and change the blade length. So for example, if you have a 36-inch blade or a 28-inch blade, you might want to change that length so that if you did like a tip drag or a melt, it would actually show up on the blade. You can also go into these motion controls and turn on or off the twist on, twist off, or the stab on, swing on, things like that. So pretty cool that you can do all this in the app, which also prevents me from having to count out all of the seconds on this button. So that's what I like about it. I think what I like about it most, though, is that it seems to be forever upgrade proof. So if they come out with a new version of the app or a new version of the firmware for the Saber, you can just download it and then load it to the Saber, which is super cool. Alright, so I'm going to go through these fonts, but just know it has like everything. It has a basic version of like everything. There's 34 fonts on here, but it is completely customizable. So you could, if you got sound fonts from, let's say, a Premiere font maker like, I don't know, Kyberphonic, K-Sith, Saber Fonts, one of them guys, you can load those fonts onto here, but I'm just going to run through the default fonts that come on it as how it would when you order it from Sabertheory. So let me go ahead and switch to font package number 1. The Chosen. The dark sword. I'm guessing a dark saber.
The assassin. The knight. Wanderer. The protector.
Probably a good one to show you can change the colors on here. So you can do a color wheel, or you can just go pick the color you want. So if I want to switch this to green, I'll just go pick a green. And like that. Alright, let's switch fonts. 8.
The Dark Empress.
The Dark Empress.
The sun. The third hunter.
The third hunter? Is that like an inquisitor?
The master. The Dark Lord Order. Fallen Apprentice Magenta.
Fallen Apprentice Magenta, that's a mouthful.
The Princess. The Butcher. Truly Lost. Wraith.
Wraith. That sounds cool.
The Senate.
The Senate. And by the way, we are more than halfway through the fonts now.
Redeemed. Bounty.
Bounty.
The Count.
You can probably guess which one that one is. That one's different.
Cyber Terror.
Cyber Terror. That one's different. Let's see what else we got.
Dark Ages.
It's kind of fun. Like a real sword.
Hatred. Idol.
Kind of ninja-like.
Serenity. The Champion.
Champion.
The Dark Lord Revisited.
Dark Lord Revisited. I wonder if that's supposed to be Vader from the Kenobi show. I'm not sure. Number 30.
The Learner.
The Learner.
The Second.
The Second? Like Second Sister? Sure is.
The Teacher. Whispers of Power.
Whispers of Power. And the last Last up, number 34.
Bloomfield.
I think it said Bloomfield? Okay, that one's fun. And there we have it, everyone. The Tuhqa Saber from Sabertheory. Good price, good budget saber. Comes in a few different versions. I failed to mention earlier, I got it in a Xeno V3. It also does come in just a baselit version, and it also comes in a Proffie installed version. So it's nice that they have all those options available. But yeah, so great budget saber. And the fact that you have, oh, I forgot to mention earlier, so motion controls, like stab on and twist off, smooth swing, and yeah, you can put your own fonts on here, and what else? Oh, and then the app functionality, only on the Xeno V3 though. That is not on the Proffie or the baselit, but yeah, good deal. I do recommend it. Go check it out. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. Hey, thanks for watching. If you hung out through all those fonts, way to go. But thanks for watching. May the force be with you all, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.